Yes, yes, you're welcome back. This is still your favorite entertainment show, Tea Time. And of course, yes, you know I would do it on the show. You never know what to expect. And yes, we have a surprise for you guys. We have a guest in the building. I won't call out his name first, but I'll just let you know about this man. He's an actor, a host, a singer, motivational speaker. He began his career by taking on a role as an extra in the movie Crossroads in 1995. Way back. I'm sure some of you guys were not born. However, his screen debut was earlier when he appeared at age 12 in the television program Tales by Moonlight. Yes, I know that one. His journey to fame and stardom began when he landed a supporting role on the hit drama series Edge of Paradise. His desire to express himself only intensified as his love for music began to develop, which he will sing for us today. He has built a strong fan base and love over the years, not just locally, but almost amongst Africans in the diaspora. As one of the most sought-after actors in Nollywood, with a reputation of being a strong leading man and a heartthrob for the ladies. He has won, let me hear you say, He has won several awards and received nominations both locally and internationally. This same feat has put him on the front cover of most major fashion, lifestyle, and industry trend magazines. He has worked for so many brands and more to come. He is currently on the advisory board of Roadshow Africa, which fosters international collaboration and encourages African leaders and governments to explore the opportunities a strong film industry can bring their countries. In fact, if you're still sitting down, you're dulling because you're sleeping on a bicycle. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome for man like Benjamin Jones. I'm sure you're like, was that me? Was that me? Like, absolutely.
I was wondering, like, okay, like, seriously? That's quite a bio.
That is quite a bio.
Yes, welcome to the show. Thank you. Yes, of course, you have been relevant for a long time. In well, you born in 1995.
I knew it was me you were trying that shit.
No, but were you?
I was not.
Okay. So at least now we've cancelled one. So what I said is almost true. So yeah. So
were you born in 1995?
Way before 1995. I was eating a pie in 1995, but I did make the soup safe. Anyways, but you know, you've been a strong force since you got into the industry, and you're still very much relevant. Of course, if they're still looking for that sugar boy, that baby boy to steal the women away,
papi.
You still get the role. What do you think keeps you consistent and what keeps you relevant in this industry?
Staying true to who I am. Staying original. Authenticity is key.
All right, so how do you manage to develop yourself? Because I could tell a difference every time I watch your old school movies and I watch the newer. I can tell there's a difference. Like, how do you, elevate yourself mentally, physically, and of course, career-wise?
Every job has its specifics and requirement. So as someone who is taking on a job, regardless of what industry, you are making sure you're preparing yourself to rightly fit into that role that has been given, or the responsibility you've been given. So for me, every role that comes requires that I position myself effectively and accurately in it. Wow. So that means I'd have to, if I have to research, if I'd have to, research about the character, research about things about the movie, and all that will give believability to the role and the character. Do you understand? Of course, you're not looking to repeating the same thing in every role. So essentially what that will be is that you've just changed your wardrobe and changed your name. And that is not what it's supposed to be.
All right, so that might be, sorry, but this is just a follow-up. That might be a little bit difficult because you're talking about getting into character and all of that. So I want to ask you, what's the hardest character for you to get out of? Like, you couldn't get out of that character after the movie was over.
Let me see. Well, I would say, off the top of my head, I probably might say it was Stripped. It was a movie where I was confined to a wheelchair for the entire duration of the film. Yeah, and I had to research how, of course, to sit in a wheelchair and use it. Not get on set and trying to figure it out. And of course, how your legs will function and how they will react, or how to best position your legs, on the wheelchair, so that way it's believable. And so that guy, he's someone who was an athlete, and he went through this process and period where he went from glory to nothing. All right, and so he was going through an episode. Mentally, he was a mess because he was finding it difficult to embrace the new reality before him that I'm no longer that person. So he was still living in that glory.
Right.
Okay, and then he had a sister who was willing to do anything to help him get back mentally. Of course, not physically, because there's nothing she can do about it. And he was constantly throwing it at her face, and like he was a pain in the neck. Okay, he was an absolute pain in the neck. So for me, I had to take myself to that place mentally. Right? Take myself to that place mentally, and then after the film, I had to go through a process. It was not too hard, or it was not too long.
But you felt it.
Yes, and I had to then try to, like, you know, bring myself out of it. And of course, typically, I'm not that kind of a human being. Okay, so I had to bring myself out of it. So I would say that was one. That was one. Yes, that was one. And another one.
All right, let's tell us about that.
Rebecca. It was a 2-cast film. For the entire duration of the film, 2 people in one location. The location was a car. In a car and around the car.
Okay.
Right? So that was tasking. Having to talk to just one person for the entire duration of a full-length feature, not a short. Okay? So it was hard.
So what did that do to you? Was it
For me, well, I would not say it was a bad thing. It helped me appreciate company. Helped me appreciate friends and family. Do you understand? It helped me appreciate that. Okay, we're still there, right? We're still there. We're still on that. After Rebecca, it was Affairs of the Heart. Well, I've got quite a few. So that one, that film saw me being put in a jail cell. I shot that in the States. And of course, those doors are automated. So the moment they're shut, you cannot open it. Although we were filming, but the reality was, the moment I entered there, the door was shut. And that particular jail cell is in the city of Atlanta. So you can, from your window, you can see the city. You can see freedom, but you can't touch it.
Whoa.
So that one was a guy who went to the States, he was taking this woman on a long run and using her to get legal papers and all of that, you understand? Right. And then he went through that stuff. And so going to jail there, for me, I had to also prepare my mind that, look, this guy, you have to believe that you're broken and everything. Do you understand? Saying, coming out of that character, it took me a few days, I promise you. It took me a few days to realize and get with reality and embrace the fact that I was now free.
Well, you're very lucky. Thank God it was Atlanta, not Kirikiri. Anyway, shit.
Okay, so coming from me, what is your take on disparity in Nollywood?
Wow. Okay, before I answer that question, I'd like to ask what informed that question.
Well, personally speaking, we see it as a general concept. So I want to know your take. Like, what's your take on disparity in Nollywood?
I think what inspired the question would be that you see a lot of women doing successfully well in the industry. They're so successful, and it looks like the guys are not working hard enough, or they're not working twice as hard as them. But we don't see it that way. So do you think that there's a pay disparity in the industry?
Fantastic. Thank you for expatiating on that, because a lot of times people have a certain ideology about something until they have clarity. Okay, then it'll change ideology. For me, I believe that it's more about, from my own point of view, women are graced in a certain way. Okay, in a certain way. And this is not to say that men do not have grace as well, but women are graced in a certain way whereby things are seemingly a lot more open to them, okay, by nature of how they are and who they are. I'm not talking gender based here now, okay? By nature of how they are and who they are. So it seemingly thinks a man, ordinarily a man, has been created to hustle.
Right.
You're meant to work and provide for your family.
Right.
Okay? The woman is not the one who is meant to do the work like you. You are meant to. Okay? So the woman is supposed to enjoy the proceeds of the work you are doing. So that is why it's almost easier for the women to get to find themselves being to find things open to them easier than the men. So it's not like the men are not doing enough. They are. Okay? But like they say, what you give to a woman, she will multiply. So the women getting what they are getting, their life by grace or by nature of who they are, it seems as if it's a lot more than what the men are getting, but the men are doing a whole lot.
But with that narration of saying that, you know, women are supposed to enjoy your process, don't you think it, you know, it goes against what we're also preaching, that women should work hard? Because these days you see a lot of women that are comfortable. They're very, very comfortable being gold diggers. They'll tell you, I'm a gold digger. That's what I do. I want a ready-made man. I don't want somebody that I have to struggle with. So, and we're trying to change that narration. Do you think this, what you just said right now, may just encourage that other narration?
Okay. A lot of times people misconstrue things you said, things you say. If you listen carefully, I didn't encourage or I wasn't against hard work. No. All I just simply said was, what a woman would do, or rather, what a man would do, and probably get a certain kind of compensation in a sense, okay? A woman would do the same thing, but by virtue of who they are, they will get compensated and sometimes even get more than the regular compensation they're supposed to get. You understand? Because the man just, oh, let me just give you this, not for anything.
Right.
Do you understand? Let me give you this more. But the man, for by nature of who we are, is designed that we should work. And you get what you get it like that. And is there anything extra you're getting? Maybe they just said. But a woman, just they have grace to get it. So I am encouraging hard work. I am. So for every woman who is out there and hustling and toiling, I applaud you. Thank you for doing it.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing it. So not saying that they are doing it. Okay, and I'm not here trying to encourage laziness in any way. No.
Alrighty, from the horse's mouth. But now let's talk about you know, why you're here exactly, because you're working on a new movie that is surrounding mental health and all of that. And tell us the title, what that's about, what inspired that, before I come through my follow-up question.
The title of the movie is Her Perfect Life. And it speaks to mental health illness, something that is seemingly almost like an epidemic in our society today. But a lot of people don't talk out about it. You know, a lot of them is just for the fear of being stigmatized. And some don't have who to talk to. Okay? So, and I feel like contents like this or projects like this that speaks to this directly are welcome. So that way it sensitizes us a lot more and helps us demystify this thing. All right, so that people are more comfortable in speaking out if there's something going through, because normally even for a man, they'll tell you, brace up, you know, just suck it up. You're a man. Don't show your weakness. But I always tell people, I say, look, a man who is going through and breaks down and you show your emotions, it's not weakness. Meekness is not weakness. It is strength under control.
Right.
Do you understand? So it's time for us to start speaking out. Let's start dealing with this thing directly. So that's why when Mo came with this thing to me and said, look, Joseph, I want to do this, and it's my directorial debut. Okay, so this means a lot to me. It's a short, and it speaks to this, something that is not talked about enough in our society. Let's do this. I'm like, of course, because I could connect with it, because I've had a point in time like that, you understand? So I could connect with it. I'm like, yes, let's do this. Sandy, it was great working with Mo. It's not my first rodeo with her, though. So it was great coming back again and all, and working with Peltusi, who was the leading woman in there. It's her first film project in Nigeria, okay? And so it was really great, and I'm looking forward to the final product.
Alrighty, we are to.
Okay, so how do you think the government can improve the mental well-being of Nigerians?
Wow.
Because I know they play a huge role in affecting the mental health of Nigerians. So how do you think they can improve it?
For me, I believe that if you provide the essentials for every human being that you govern, amenities that will thrive productivity, you'd spend less time thinking about how to deal with these things for yourself. You'd rather think more about how to be more productive for your life. Because the average Nigerian is thinking about how they will fuel their generator because there's no power. They're thinking about how they will pump water because there's no water. They're thinking about their security because they don't feel secure. They are thinking about how to go through traffic because our road network is
terrible.
It's something else. So by the time you go through all of these things on a daily basis, it is enough for you to lose your mind. So for me, I believe that the government should invest more time in creating an enabling environment for their citizens. And I promise you, people will be less frustrated. People will be less frustrated. Yes.
Alrighty, because you know, there's this phrase or there's this slang that we like to say in Nigeria. People with no mouth for this country, we know past 3.
No.
You think it's a joke, but it's actually true.
No, let me further hit you some more. The main phrase is this. Everybody waiting for Nigeria, they crazy. They say, everybody crazy. So, say, but now the waka, see, all of us are mad. We are meant, but the waka way they crazy. Now all of us know if you see crazy man, if you waka from here now, go drill like, go Ikeja.
Yes.
Do you understand? But we know if you do that kind of crazy. But crazy with the crazy.
Yeah. So now that brings me to the question, like, we should focus on, you know, societal issues, you know, when creating movies. And I feel like that's a welcome development, which is something yourself and Mo Abu just did, and I think you deserve, you know, all the accolades for that one, because usually we see Rachel movies, Blood Money, you know, Sugar Daddy, all of that. But what would be your advice to, you know, a lot of other filmmakers and people that want to, you know, tap into the societal issue space? What would be your advice to them?
People usually ask me, to answer that question, thank you for that question, people usually ask me, what informs your decision or choice of scripts? And I say to them, I look out for certain components, like, how does this speak to the people? Does this deal with societal issues or ills? Does this sensitize us as a people? Beyond just entertainment, the element of entertainment would definitely be there, okay? But for me is, I would want you to be able to speak to certain things that affect us on a daily basis or as a people. So by the time people are done watching your film, they go away with a lesson or two. Not just get excited and then by the time you ask them, how's that, man, oh, that feeling tough. Okay, what did you get from it? Man, I don't know, man. Just day. Do you understand? So when I look out for these things and if they're there, I say, okay, fine, this is good. I'd like to be a part of this project. Like the next project I'm going to be working on in a week or so, it's about a pastor who gets married to a prostitute.
Okay.
That is deep, right?
That's deep.
That is very deep.
To see that.
So it speaks to love, it speaks to courage, it speaks to purpose, it speaks to religion. It speaks to how you see faith. Yes.
That's hard.
It is hard, but it's our everyday life.
True.
Yes. True. So how do you speak to a prostitute on the street who lives by that code and makes them understand that God loves you, but making sure that you do not discriminate, but at the same time showing grace?
Okay. All right.
Okay. How do you think this movie can help society? How do you think because obviously mental health is an important factor. So how do you think this movie is going to reach out to people? How do you think it's going to help the society in general? Well,
for me, I believe that, like I said earlier, the more we talk about this issue, the better it'll be. It will help us. I believe that by the time people see this film, because the synopsis is this woman who's got this perfect life and everything, and goes ahead and commits suicide. And everyone thinks she's happy that you have it going. You know, by the time people see this, and I'm sure this is not the first of many of these ones, you understand? By the time people see this, it will encourage people to talk and understand that if you can't evaluate who you have around you and you don't feel comfortable to speak to people you have around you, then they are not really with you. Because I usually tell people, not everyone who is around you is with you or for you. You understand? So it will make you evaluate who you have around you first of all, because you should have a close circle that you can open up to, that you can talk to. So I'm sure it will encourage people to speak out. It will encourage people to reach out to people constantly, be more intentional about checking on people, knowing how people are doing, because those are the little things that can help, and they go a long way to dealing with this issue. You understand? When was the last time you called on that friend? When was the last time? Did you have to wait for them to reach out to you?
But I also I kind of have a different opinion, because there are people that are genuinely there for you. They check up on you, they talk to you. You know, you can always reach out to these people. But the people going through this still feel the need to handle it by themselves. They don't want to reach out. They want to just be in their own space. I don't feel it's necessarily about having people that would check up on you, would be there for you. So how else do you feel like, or people coming from that point of view, they don't want to reach out, they just want to, it's very easy for them to say, oh, I'm fine, I'm okay, I'm happy, and pretend to be good and all, but genuinely you don't know what they're going through because they don't want to open up.
I believe it also stems from how you relate with them.
Stigmatization.
Yes, stigmatization is another phase of it. If these people have people that genuinely care for them are there, how do those people relate with them? Because it's one thing for you to say you're there for me, and whenever I bring up an issue, you don't see it from both sides of the divide. It's either your way or nothing else. You don't listen to actually help you really analyze the situation, because there are two sides to every situation. So they're there, but how are they there? Are they the ones that would listen first before making a judgment or before talking? Or you just hear a bit of it like, you tell them, come on now, suck it up. You're not like that now. Let's come on. That's a thing. Do you understand? So this way, it'll give people a different ideology about being there for people and speaking and helping people. Yes.
All right, I'm sure you've been hoping and praying that we don't remember this, but you have to sing for us.
Yeah.
There's no water in here, please. Where's my water is finished, please.
So no,
my water is finished.
That's not an excuse. You're professional,
my water is
so
finished.
You're going to do this. So let's just hear you. You know, would you just like to hear you sing?
What do you want me to sing? Well, I have.
I'd like to hear you sing an original.
Well, I have a single that I released like about 4 weeks ago, because I do gospel and inspiration, and inspirational could be love as well. Okay, maybe I might just sing a line from my new song. Let me see. Sovereign God, I worship you. Yahweh, I honor you. Indescribable God, I worship you. Yahweh, I honor you. For there's no God who compares to you. Incomparable God, that's who you are.
No,
I didn't want it to stop. I didn't want it to stop.
Took us to church on a Friday.
Yes.
Amazing. So, you know, you said a lot about, you know, you doing motivational, inspirational songs, and then you also motivational speaker. And then in this part of the world, you get all the aspire to, perspire to, desire to, inspire to, expire. But, you know, they actually do not practice what they preach. What is different about you? Why should people come out to listen to you, motivate them or inspire them?
Because a lot of people are tired of listening to scripted versions of life experiences.
Preach.
What I say stems from my own personal walk. So I'd rather use my life as a case study, all right, to inspire you and make you understand that, look, I've been there. I've seen it. So what you're going through, yes, I've experienced it. All right? Because a lot of people speak from a very shallow point. Not a lot of them have gone through. Okay? So, because you need to go through to get to. You can't just get to. If you get to, then how do you sustain? So going through gives you the material and gives you the substance that you need when you get to.
Right.
All right.
So would I? Okay. So yeah.
Okay. So personally, you were away from the industry for a while. What should we expect from the Joseph Benjamin?
Oh,
and was there a
goodness.
particular reason for the break?
Wow, look at the way she emphasized it. The
Yes!
Joseph Benjamin. My goodness. Well, yes, I've been away for like 6 years now. Okay, and it was intentional. It was geared towards growth, right? For me to grow, and growth in career, growth mentally, growth spiritually, as an individual. Okay, I'd gotten to a point in my career where I wanted more, you know, and I just felt like there was nothing challenging anymore. And at the point in time when I left, the industry was going through, how would I say, it was going through maybe a reshuffle, or was going through a building, right? Because what has happened in the last 6 years is phenomenal, okay?
True.
All right, so I wanted that at that point, and that's why I left. And I'd always wanted to explore what the American industry has to offer, you know, away from people's discouragements and everything. And all, when I was leaving, people thought I'd lost it. They say, guy, you don't lose now, you don't mess. Like, how would you leave all of this career and go? I said to them, get it wrong. I'm the career. Wherever I go, the career goes.
Yes, yes.
It's not tied to any geographical location.
How did that work out for you? You know?
Oh, my brother, it worked out. When I mean worked out with emphasis on the worked out. Because I'm getting to an industry that I'm new to. I have to literally start from the very beginning. And that's what I did. And starting from the very beginning means start auditioning. Start auditioning, and that's the only way the industry can know you. Okay, but good thing is I came with a body of work. I did not come in as a rookie. Okay, I came in experienced. So that's because they need something to work with. That's why I was able to get an agent. But the toil was good. I had to press in, push in, and of course, when you're not yet booking, what you have to do, you have to pay your bills. What do you do? I was driving for Uber, driving for Lyft, delivering packages for Amazon with Amazon trucks. I went, bear in mind, there was a lot I could do to stay good, to live the life, but I did not. I chose not to. No, I wanted to, no, you get it? I chose to live because there is dignity in labor.
Major respect.
You understand? I chose to live the good path, and it's because I've learned how to abound and to abase, and I've learned not to be entitled. So that way I could come down to the barest minimum and say, okay, let me do all of these things because I have bills to pay. And then, of course, when I started booking, yes, the industry here went agog. They say, yes, Hollywood is $9. Say, yes. So, but that was just the start of the journey, you understand? And they don't know what I went through. But I knew that what I was going through was not just for me. It was also to encourage that young man, that young woman who's looking up to me and feel like, oh, look, I have a dream, I aspire to become. You can be it. But do not be in a hurry to get to. Do not be in a hurry to be. But rather spend more time in becoming.
Right, amazing. So you're motivating us on
Honestly.
I think you should come on a Monday.
Monday,
Right. Okay.
Monday.
Oh, for real? Okay, that'll be good.
Yeah, so we should do that again. But you know, you seem kind of religious. I don't know if I'm correct. But how do you separate your work life from your religious life? Because of course you have to take certain roles that, you know, are against your religion. How do you separate it, and how do you work with it?
For starters, when I take on any role, it means literally, it's literal, taking on another role, another character, another personality. That is not me. Okay? But then when I'm singing or I'm emceeing an event or hosting a show, that is me. I'm true to form. Joseph Benjamin. So they're two different lives, okay? But people fail to understand that. When I'm doing this, it is the job. When I'm doing this, it is my work, what I was created for in a sense, because my music is me, okay? Because when I'm hosting an event, I'm emceeing, I'm speaking to you as Joseph Benjamin. But when I'm in a film or a TV drama, I'm speaking to you as that character. But people fail to balance it, okay? They fail to balance that, because that's why I've had a bit of a challenge. No, I don't call it a challenge, but people accepting the fact that, okay, he's an actor, now he's doing music and gospel, like really, an actor, this guy, you're constantly kissing people in the film, now you're singing gospel. I said, that's the problem there. We are quick to try to define what you should look like, what you should be in the kingdom. But God is more concerned about your heart as opposed to what you are bringing. Yeah, you understand what you're bringing on the outside. Yes, I know people see you before they hear you. Yes, it's a given. But what they are seeing, is it what does it portray? Does it portray goodliness? Right? Does it portray goodliness? If it does, then when they hear you, they will hear the godliness. Get it?
Okay.
Because he's more concerned about the heart. So for me, I'm able to separate them, because when I get into these roles, you understand, thankfully, I know certain times when I see certain things that are, you know, some sexual roles and certain things, if it's a bit too descriptive, I'll have a conversation with the director and say, look, because I've gotten to that point in my career where I can have those conversations with directors and say, look, director, can we, you know, do this or like that? Let it be more implied as opposed to being so descriptive. You understand? Yeah, so that it can be tasteful. So that way we are not, you know, we're not going overboard. Okay, and of course, thankfully, we live in a society that is governed by strong morals. Even though we are beginning to do the morals, we understand.
Alrighty, I'm sure you have another question for me.
Okay, so for me, branding is very, very important in any society. How have you kept your brand?
How have I kept my brand? Staying true to form, staying true to form, I promise you, like, and being original, being authentic, and not trying to be like. There's a difference between trying to be like and being. Do you understand? When you are more authentic and it's more attractive because you know that this person is staying true to form. You're not trying to go with the norm. You're not trying to go with the trend and come on now, how far? Do you understand? You're not trying to go with the norm or the trend. You're just trying to be you. Okay? Do you understand? So that's how I've been able to stay true to me, because when people talk about Joseph Benjamin, it's like, that guy that is like this, like that. That is my branding.
All right, so I think the plan A for a lot of Nigerians right now is actually jack buying. And then the plan B is make I find work, because, you know, it's not reversed, right? And then for someone like you, you know, who left, you know, for the States 6 years ago, and then you're back home. What would you say? Would you say that it is a good plan for a lot of people to go? I know you mentioned something about enabling environments, right? And I know that we don't have a lot of that out here. But what would be your advice to a lot of people that just want to leave the country without having any solid plan in place? Because you had a plan. So.
That is always a problem. I was having this conversation, you know, funny enough, I was having this conversation with somebody this week. And I said to them, I said, you see, the reason why these Asians, that's the Indians, the Chinese, and all that, the reason why they thrive when they get to, especially the States and all of these other parts of the Western society, is the fact that they go with a plan. They go informed. They get there prepared to hit the ground running. Just like, of course, I went prepared and obviously and all of that stuff, but I had to go through a process. But these guys, they leave where they are to get to there with information to hit the ground running. But we just go on a whim. We said, Mama, just go. Anyhow, we'll figure it out. And that's when you get there, you start suffering. You're doing like maybe a $10 job, $15 job, and all of these things. Meanwhile, these guys get there, they're probably earning like $100 an hour, earn like $50 an hour. Do you understand? Because they go informed, prepared. So for me, for anyone who wants to follow that route, to leave Nigeria, have a plan. be certain that, look, you are leaving Nigeria because it's a good option for you. If you have a good thing going on for you here, stay. Stick to it. Leaving, is it good? Yes, I'm not discouraging you. But go with a plan. Be prepared, be well informed, have capacity. All right? Go with the required skills. Do research. What are skills that are in high demand where I'm going to right now? Is that the path that I would like to follow? Training those skills. Okay? And so that way, before you even leave, you're probably even reaching out to certain people so that you look, I have this skill, and that skill from here. And a lot of times I've heard stories where some of these companies they'll hire you right from where you're coming from. Do you get it? Because the thing is, you go to the embassy, they're turning people down every day. That's the reality. Let's face it. You understand? Because a lot of people are going without a plan. Without a plan. And how many companies are wanting to give you a work visa, do you understand, if you don't have a skill that they can't immediately source from in the states there?
Okay, last from me. Okay, what international or local, what actor, producer, or director would you want to work for? Would you want to work with in the future that you haven't already worked with? What actor, director, or producer do you?
What time is it right now? It's 10:50. You don't want us to leave here then. You don't want us to leave here.
Actually running out of time.
You don't want us to leave here because if I start answering that question, it's okay.
The last question. So,
okay.
That question. No, let's leave that question because there are plenty.
But the main.
The main is plenty. No, honestly, because there are quite a lot of people that I would love to work with. You understand? Okay, let me just give a few names here. Like in the Nigerian space, I know someone I'd like to work with is Kunle Afolayan.
Yes.
You understand? Another person I know I'd like to work with is Biodun Stevens. Right? That's another person. Nia Kumalayo, Jeremiah Giang. Of course, I worked with Mo. Inkblot guys, I'd like to work because I see they're doing good stuff. Okay? So, that's Bolande Austin Peters.
Oh my God. You have to be there.
These are people that I see that are actually, they've upped the ante. You understand? Stakes are higher. You know, these are people I'd like to work with. So there are quite a few here in Nigeria, honestly. In the States, oh my goodness. Come on.
The entire state.
Come on. Haba. I know I'd love to work with Ryan Coogler, the director of the Black Panther. I'd love to work with Ryan Coogler. I'd love to work with Tyler Perry. I would love to work with Tyler Perry.
I'd like to see you in a Tyler Perry movie.
Yes, a lot of people. You and a lot of people. Maybe you and the entire Nigeria. Yes, I'd love to work with Tyler Perry. At least I've done something on the Oprah Winfrey Network, but would like to do more. I'd love to work with Ava DuVernay. I'd love to work with Akion Motosho. I would love to. I respect that man. I'd love to work with Scorsese, man. My goodness.
Of course.
Of course. Like, really. Yeah. So, that's what I'm telling you. He
wasn't kidding about the names.
I think we should just cut the show right there because we're running out of time. And, of course, before you leave, you know, A Perfect Life is a project that we're all looking forward to. You know, tell us, like, when do you think this would be out?
To be honest, I don't know because I know the plan is to go to festivals.
Okay.
Right, festivals are the focus, literally, or maybe all the festivals.
So would this be released online, or
I'm sure after she's done with the festival rounds, I'm sure it will. And who knows? Maybe it might be commissioned to become a full length, and then we'll have to shoot a full length feature. Who knows? I'm just saying.
Nice.
Who knows?
And are you here to stay now? Are you back in Nigeria?
Back is relative.
Like, is America your second home?
America is my first home.
Okay.
Because that is what it comes. Home is where your heart is. Okay. So I think it would be unfair to say America is my first home. All right. Nigeria is my home, to the core, all right. But my life is in the States. Okay. All right, my life is in the States, but am I back to I'm back to the industry. I'm here. I'm available. I'm back here. I'm available.
Yes, Joseph Benjamin is back, and of course, he's going to tell you guys where you can find him on social media.
Absolutely.
Because social media wasn't this popping when you left, right?
Brother, man, I'm behind. I'm like, I wake up, I'm like, what happened?
I know.
Yes, because when I was here, social media was not like this.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on Instagram. I am Joseph Benjamin. One word. I am Joseph Benjamin. Twitter, I am J Benjamin. Facebook, Joseph Benjamin. You guys can follow me. It's okay. I tend not to be boring sometimes there, but I try, But you guys help me. Because social media, right? I'm racing behind you guys. I'm trying to understand because it's a lot of work.
Yes, it's a lot. It's a lot, actually. All right, man. It's been amazing having you on the show, but this is where we draw the curtain today.
It's okay. I totally understand. There's this dryness that tickles your throat.
But thanks
sometimes.
for watching as always. Join the conversation on social media with the hashtag TEATIME. And remember, you can catch up on our previous episodes, including this very one, and all our exclusive contents by subscribing to our YouTube channel at PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle. You can also watch TEATIME on Out to TV and, of course, in London on Ben Television and Star Times Channel 308. A big thank you goes out to my studio guest, Joseph Benjamin, and, of course, my co-anchor, yes, for
and just before we go, please, I need to give a big shout out to my management, Temple Management, for holding it down for me, for doing all of this. I'd really, really appreciate that. Yeah.
All right, man. Yes, and that is where we say goodbye on PlusTvAfrica's TEATIME. My name is Ife Oshike Lego.